Hey guys, so here's part 2 of the 1.7 day 1 notes. Once again, we are solving absolute value equations. Okay, so number 3, we have the absolute value of s minus 2 equals negative 1. Now, if you notice here, I see that I have a negative number outside of the absolute value bars. What did we talk about at the very beginning, really in part 1 of our 1.7 day 1 notes? Could our absolute value equation ever equal a negative? No, because remember, absolute value means the distance a value is from 0. And so when we think of distance, distance can't be negative. So our absolute value can never equal a negative number. So here, all we have to do, and we don't need to even solve this out, all we have to see, this is a no solution, because we know no matter what, no matter number we put into S, we can never equal a negative. Because think about it, when we take the absolute value of a number, it always makes it positive. So that'll be our final answer. So anytime you see your absolute value equation equal a negative, and it has to be the absolute value. So when we create the two equations to solve, that's way different, okay? So when you ever see this, just put no solution. Okay, let's look at number 4. So 4 is a little bit different because every single one we've done, we had like the absolute value that equals a constant. Here we have the absolute value of d minus 3, then a minus 4 equals negative 2. So anytime you have a number that is on the same side of your absolute value, we need to move it over to the other side because we really have to have our absolute value equals a constant or equals something else. So what we need to do first before creating our two equations is I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Now you may notice that our absolute value equals a negative, but because with that minus 4, I need to move that over first. Then I can decide if this is a no solution or I solve as usual. So when I do that, I now have the absolute value of d minus 3 equals, now I do negative 2 plus 4, that gives me a positive 2. So now my number or the constant or the value outside the absolute value bars, it is a positive. So I basically do what I originally did in the first two examples. I solve. So when I solve, I need to create two equations. One where it's exactly the same without the absolute value bars. Please make sure you get rid of those when you create your two equations. And then the other one where the number outside the absolute value bars, I negate it. Okay, now I solve. On both of them, I add 3, so I get 5. And then on the other one, I get 1. So those will be my two solutions there. Okay? Okay, let's go ahead and do the next one. And in fact, for number 5, I would like you guys to go ahead and pause the video and try number 5 on your own. Okay, let's see what we got. So here we have 3 equals the absolute value of p minus 4 plus 9. Well, I do see that extra bit here, right, that plus 9. I have to move that over first before I can create my two equations. So what I need to do is subtract 9 from both sides. So now I have, and I'm going to rewrite this because I like the absolute value on the left-hand side of the absolute value of p minus 4 equals, well, 3 minus 9 gives me negative 6. Now notice, our absolute value is equal to a negative. So what happens here? Well, remember, our absolute value can never equal a negative because when we take the absolute value of any number, it makes it positive. So in this case, this is going to be a no solution. Okay, make sure you guys watch part 3. Now we're going to be talking about what happens when we have a variable on the other side of our absolute value bars.